At 83, I've lived through joy and sorrow, laughter and loss. I've watched the world change in ways I never imagined, but today I want to talk to you about a decision I wish I could go back and change. A decision I made thinking it was for the best. I moved into a nursing home. It wasn't forced. My children were kind. They only wanted to help. They said, "Dad, it'll be safer. You'll have people around. You won't have to worry about a thing." And at first it sounded reasonable, logical even. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to cause anyone trouble. But what I didn't realize was that by moving into that place, I wasn't just changing my address. I was changing everything about how I lived and who I was. If you're thinking about this step, whether for yourself or someone you care about, I want to share 6 truths I learned far too late. Truths that no brochure will tell you. Stay with me because what you hear today might save you or someone you love from making the same mistake. Regret. 1. The silent loss of freedom. Freedom doesn't disappear all at once. It slips away in moments, tiny, unnoticed changes. Before the move, I had a rhythm to my days. I woke up when I felt rested, brewed my own coffee just the way I liked it, and read the newspaper on the porch with the morning sun on my face. I could decide when to eat, where to go, or simply do nothing at all. But in the home, everything changed. Meals came at fixed times, lights out was scheduled. Want to go outside, you wait. Someone has to approve it. I remember one morning I woke up early like I always had, reached for my robe, and tried to step into the hallway, only to be told, "Sir, it's too early to leave your room." That was the first time I felt like a guest in my own life. The hardest part? You get used to it. You stop asking. You stop resisting. And little by little, you stop being you. Regret number 2. The unexpected loneliness. You think being surrounded by people means you'll never feel alone. But that's not how it works. In the beginning, my family visited often. My daughter would bring fresh fruit. My son would help fix small things in my room. And my grandkids would run through the hall laughing. But life happens. People get busy, calls replace visits, holidays come and go, promises get delayed. One Christmas Eve, I dressed up, had a small gift in my hands and waited by the window. They said they'd come, but the snow started falling, and so did my heart. No one showed. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't part of their world anymore. I had become a side note in their busy lives, not because they stopped caring, but because I was no longer in view. Out of sight really does become out of mind. Regret, per 3, losing my sense of purpose. When I lived at home, I had reasons to get up. Simple ones, watering the plants, making tea, feeding the birds. I liked fixing things around the house. It gave me purpose. It made me feel needed. But in the nursing home, everything is done for you. Meals are delivered, sheets are changed, even your clothes are picked out if you don't speak up. At first I thought it was nice, a break. But it didn't take long before the days started to blur. Without something to do, I began to feel useless. I watched others too. Men and women who had led rich lives now sitting in wheelchairs, staring at TV screens they didn't care about. People who had been strong, smart, full of stories, now waiting for nothing. Purpose isn't about productivity. It's about identity. When you stop feeling useful, you stop feeling alive. Regret. Number 4. Declining health, faster than expected. I went into the home in decent shape. I still walked daily, stretched in the mornings, and even cooked my own soup from scratch. But the nursing home made it easy to stop moving. Meals arrived, laundry disappeared. Help was always just a button away. At first it felt convenient. Then I started feeling stiff. My balance worsened. I lost weight, not from illness, but from inactivity. They called it natural aging. I called it giving up without knowing I had. And I wasn't alone. I saw once active neighbors slowly grow dependent. The less we did, the less we could do. Muscles weaken, minds dull. We didn't stop living because we were old. We started aging faster because we stopped living. Regret, number 5. Watching others fade. One of the cruelest things about nursing homes isn't what happens to you, but what you witness in others. I saw friends lose their spark. I heard conversations become repetitive as minds slipped into fog. People who once shared jokes and stories now sat silently, barely recognizing each other. And no matter how hard you try, you can't ignore the reality around you. You see your future in their eyes. One woman, Ruth, used to read poetry aloud every Friday, a retired teacher full of charm and wisdom. But over months, I watched her fade, misplacing her books, forgetting the words, and eventually forgetting us. It's heartbreaking, and it's real. You don't just face your own decline, you witness the slow dimming of a whole generation, together under one roof. Regret number 6. Realizing what truly matters. Too late. When I was younger, I worried about saving money, securing my retirement, finding the safest way to grow old. But sitting in that sterile room, surrounded by others just like me, I realized what I truly needed wasn't safety. It was connection. I wasn't about comfort. It was about meaning. I missed my garden, not because it was beautiful, but because I grew it. I missed my creaky old chair, not because it was soft, but because it held my memories. And I missed my family, not just because they were mine, but because they made life worth all the pain and struggle. Final thoughts. If you're still watching, I hope you understand. This isn't a message of bitterness. It's a message of warning and of love. Nursing homes serve a purpose, yes, but they are not the only answer, and they are not without consequences. If you're considering this step, ask yourself, are you ready to let go of the small freedoms that define your life? Are you prepared for the silence that sometimes fills those halls? Are you making this choice because it's easier, or because it's truly better? Sometimes the harder path, staying home, finding in-home care, adapting your space, is the one that keeps your soul alive. Thank you for listening. If this message moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, we don't stop living when we grow old. We start dying.